Inclusive education simply means to include the child with the handicap or the disability in the regular classroom. However, it does not mean letting the kid into the classroom and leaving the kid on his or her own. It means providing the support and services that these children will need in order to survive in a regular classroom. So putting the child in is not the start and the end of inclusive education. Putting the child in with the right services and supports, whatever the child will need in order to be equally successful with the not so handicapped child in a regular classroom, is what inclusive education is all about. Inclusive education is not cutting back special education services as a trade-off for being in the general education classroom. We talk of special education for children with disabilities. When we bring these children into the regular classroom, it does not mean that that is the end of it. It also means that we bring with them whatever special needs these children have in terms of learning aids, in terms of materials, in terms of activities, in terms of teaching methodologies. We bring in what this child needs into the regular classroom instead of saying that now the child is in the regular classroom, we don't need to have funds to provide the additional support the child needed. You still need to have the funds to provide the additional support the child needed. Inclusive education is not sacrificing the education of kids without disabilities, so kids with disabilities can be included. Yes, most of the children in a regular classroom will be normal. There may be one or two or a few odd kids with disabilities in a regular classroom. Because we've got these few odd kids in this regular classroom does not mean that we slow down the pace, does not mean that everybody works at the same pace and frequency as that required by the handicapped child. It simply means that these children will need some additional attention. The regular students should still be able to function normally in the general classroom, which includes the handicapped child. Special education is individualized supports that give kids with disabilities the extra help they need to learn from the general curriculum. Because we are focusing on the same education, the same level, the same quality, the same standard of education as that for a normal child, it is imperative that these children with special needs also fulfill all the requirements for the general curriculum. How this is done depends obviously on the teacher, what the teacher is capable of doing, how the teacher is trained. It also depends on the materials required for the purpose of educating these children with handicaps in a regular classroom. Using things like videos and film strips and PowerPoints and those kinds of things help these students, and of course they will certainly help the normal child in the regular classroom as well. But as long as the teacher is focused on supplementing her or his teaching methodologies with those required for the special needs child in the regular classroom, individuals with handicaps will be successful in a regular classroom that supports what these children need. These children may need physical therapy, curriculum adaptations, communication boards, speech therapy, language therapy, behavior plan, and environmental accommodations. Whatever these children need, these are just some samples of requirements for these special needs children. There may be others, but whatever these children need should be provided within the context and perimeters of a regular classroom. Only then will these students be successful. It might even come down to having maybe a teacher aide or a student helper associated with these special children. Whatever that need is, that need needs to be met within the parameters of a regular classroom so that these children with handicaps are successful as are normal children in a general classroom setting.